The Dogs, in association with the British Greyhound Racing Board.
Complete outsider, still leading, but Westmead Hawk now moves through the field and comes with a tremendous run. He sprints clear. Success at last for owner Bob Morton as Westmead Hawk delivers. It's Derby fever here on the Dogs. In the next 30 minutes, you'll get plenty of clues. We visit Brian Clemenson's kennels to find out about his magnificent seven. Derby King Charlie Lister tells us about his quest for title number 5. And from the big kennels to one man and his dog, Ian Aylward talks about his chances with Bailiff Diesel. They come round the final bend and it's still Fear Me the leader. Westmead Hawk got a lovely run on the second last bend. He's off in chase. Fear Me from Westmead Hawk. Fear Me and Westmead Hawk. Fear Me by a neck from Westmead Hawk. What a race!
Perhaps the most important English Derby form line to date. The Scottish Derby final earlier this month, Fear Me beating Westmead Hawk in a classic. More success for the Derby King, Charlie Lister.
You know, I won it three times before, so it was nice to win it again. And you know, he got beat in the first round, and I always thought that he'd get to the final, and you know, I thought that he'd improve a bit. And he's a very good starter, and he gets the trip well. So, you know, I think if he led, you know, it had to be a good dog to pick him up.
Obviously, last year's English Derby winner Westmead Hawk almost caught him at Shawfield. What do you think it'd be like at Wimbledon?
Well, I think it'd be a good race, I would say. You know. I think Wimbledon will suit my dog better than what Shawfield did, really.
Well, of course, Fear Me has run at Wimbledon, Charlie, in the Trainers' Championship. Didn't quite get the run of a race there.
No, he didn't. He that was his first race back after being off 5 months, and he drew trap 1, and he's a middle runner really, so he'll be seeded middle from now on. And he was just maybe not ready for that race, you know, and I took him then to Glasgow for the Derby, and he got beat in the first round, which that was only his second race back, and then he's just improved then after that. So, you know, he's spot on at the minute, any road.
Is he consistent enough at the traps to always lead at the first bend in the Derby?
Very, very consistent starter, and he does kind of run any trap from 2 to 6, he'll run out of. You know, he's got blinding early pace, and he gets the trip very, very strong. Like,
well, as you know, in the Derby, lots of people just enter their dogs for the thrill of having a dog in a Derby. Plenty of those dogs have got sprinter's pace to the corner. What if Fear Me is led? Will he be able to sort of come from behind?
Oh yeah, he'll definitely come from behind. No danger. He'll come from behind.
As you'd expect, there's plenty of quality in Lister's Derby team, including Saving Time, runner-up in last year's Northern Puppy Derby for Phil McComish, and already a winner at Wimbledon. So too is Tom's View, the 2005 juvenile champion, who seems to be coming back to himself again after 1 or 2 setbacks. Possibly a dark horse for Lister is the kennel's most recent intake, Fear the Best, a winner in Ireland where he raced as Cocktail Blackie. He's an unexposed sort who's open to plenty of improvement. But clear second string to Fear Me for Team Lister is Zigzag Duchy, who equalled the track record as a puppy at Wimbledon last summer. He starts and stays and has been on many people's Derby shortlist for months now. And of course he's owned by Ray White, twice a winner of the Derby with Rapid Ranger. How does Charlie compare Zigzag Duchy to Fear Me?
Well, I wouldn't think there'd be a great deal between them. I wouldn't think there'd be a great deal between them. I mean, Dutchy's, he can do the times. He's got the pace, and he's a good railer, and he's a strong dog. You know, he's a strong running dog. He's a little dog what's never beat, really. You know, he's only a small dog, but he can run. You know.
perhaps not so consistent at the traps, though, Dutchy.
Maybe not as consistent at the traps, no. The other dog is he's an exceptional starter, really. And Dutchy's maybe just not. He can come away. He's got a good pace once he does come away. And he's got terrific back pace, you know. You know, I've got two good prospects there in them two, and, you know, I just hope that they go all right.
So high hopes for Zigzag Dutchy, who served notice of his Derby intentions in a recent trial stakes win at Wimbledon.
This one is Zigzag Dutchy, the favourite in trap 2. Off they go and racing away. Slow start from Blommack in 3, but what a start from Droopy's Lamassi in 5. Rushing up now is Ballymac Droopy's. Oh, they connect there at the bend. Blommack also in bother, heading down the far side and going on the outside. Ballymac Droopy's. After these comes 5, Droopy's Lamassi. Zigzag Dutchy close up. Fear Khan after these. Then comes Blommack lying in 5th. So go around the second last bend, and Ballymac Droopy's with a 2-length lead. Zigzag Dutchy having to come around the outside, but beginning to close with Fear Khan as the line comes up. It's going to be tight between the duo, just Zigzag Dutchy.
Zigzag Dutchy begins his Derby campaign on Saturday in Heat 28, one of the classiest qualifiers, featuring Art winner Mildeen Billy, top Irish tracker Dustin Fox and kennel mate Fear the Best. Zigzag Dutchy, back with the sponsors at 66 to 1 11 months ago, is now 8 to 1 with Hills. Fear Me starts out on his quest for a Derby double in Heat 20, also on Saturday. And in a cracking matchup, Simon Wooder's dog lines up against Bubbly Jason, who went under the 460 track record in a trial at Wimbledon last week. Known as Droopy's Armani in Ireland, Andy Johnson's dog is now a 20 to 1 chance with Hills. Fear Me is the 5 to 1 clear Derby favourite. And what a Westmead hawk. Bob Morton and Nick Savers' reigning Derby champion begins his defence of the title in Heat 11 on Friday. Informed Seamus Cahill is represented by Trap 2 Tyra Paddy and Trap 5 Lenson Thierry. But all eyes will surely be on the hawk, who's a 6 to 1 clear second favourite with Hills for the Classic. Hawk's closely related kennel mate Westmead Joe also goes on Friday. The younger Westmead, a 12 to 1 third favourite with the sponsors, goes in Heat 17, where Scottish Derby finalist Malbay Nikita and Ballymac Pires, fastest in the Derby first round last year, head the opposition. Ian Aylward is back training winners from a new setup at Sleaford in Lincolnshire. The Bailiff Racing Kennels follow the Bailiff prefix, for which Ian's dogs are well known, and he'll be represented in the Derby with Bailiff Diesel. It's a real family affair, and everyone's played their part in the new venture.
It's settling pretty well. It's been hard work, but at the end of the day, it's starting to pay dividends now. We're starting to get a few winners.
And the place has been transformed since you've been here.
Yeah, it was a bit of dereliction when we got here, but it's starting to take shape now. Most of the kennel blocks are built, and the house is nearly finished as well for Tracy.
And the kennels, how many dogs have you got in at the moment?
We've about 32 racing dogs. We've got 3 brood bitches. We've possibly got 3 or 4 retired ones, and about 14 pups.
And the breeding's something you're really expanding.
Yeah, it's a big part of the operation, and it's a big part of the future for the whole bailiff camp, to be honest with you.
As mentioned, Bailiff Diesel carries Ian's hopes in the William Hill Derby, having first shot to prominence as a puppy at Nottingham late last year.
Bailiff Diesel, he was always a cracking pup, and he developed into the pup that we thought he was going to be when he was 13 or 14 months old. Obviously, notably winning the puppy race at Nottingham in the process of beating Fear Me, which was a nice little benchmark to get to.
Well, it has been touted about as a likely Derby runner. Do you think he'll go a long way in the competition?
Yeah, if we can get him back to his previous best, yeah, we hope to get him down to Wimbledon, and hopefully he'll progress through each round, and never know, may even get to a final.
Had a bit of trouble recently at Bellevue though, didn't he?
Yeah, it was a bit of one of them situations where he got knocked over and you feel like he's down for 5 minutes, but it was only a few seconds, or not even that, it was probably only half a second, but you just felt like, because it just took so long to get up, but lucky enough he got up and he chased after the pack, and he seems fine today.
What's his best draw?
I personally prefer him in 1, although he's not the dead railer. He goes down the rail. He pretty goes straight wherever he's drawn, but he drives a bend, and for me, a dog that drives a bend is always better in trap 1.
Now, after the Derby, if he doesn't win the Derby, where do you think you'll be aiming him next?
If he didn't go far in the Derby because of lack of pace, which could be his only downfall when he's running against proper 4 bend dogs, he might be found out for early pace. We may step him up in distance and maybe even look at going for the collar at Bellevue over 590.
Bailiff Diesel showed no ill effects from that crashing fall at Bellevue, winning heat and final of a stake at Nottingham. His confidence is clearly now restored, and Ian is Wimbledon bound with him now. He's satisfied his trainer in trials, and Bailiff Diesel goes in heat 13 of the Derby on Friday, where he'll be looking to show this sort of pace again. Training, rearing and breeding will go paw in paw at the Bailiff Kennels, with this schooling track a vital ingredient Ian feels in the quest for not just training winners, but developing the next generation of graded and open race runners. Indeed, what does the future hold for the Aylward camp?
At the present time, we've got a litter of Brett Lee pups. They're sort of 11 months, and they're really, they look future stars. Obviously, it's early to say at the minute, but they're looking very promising. They've done everything right up to now. They've had a couple of goals on the schooling track, albeit only 120 metres, but they've gone really well, all of them.
And they're out of?
And they're out of Brett Lee, Coral Springs being the mother of Bailiff Spring, and Bailiff Dilemma, the litter previous, as she threw 3 or 4 open races in that litter. And we've also got a litter of Droopsy's Woods pups on the ground. They're out of Bailiff Queen, who's obviously Diesel's mother.
With racers on the track and puppies on the ground, there's plenty to keep the kennels busy. It's a new setup and clearly a progressive one. It's about working towards winners. But how would Ian term a successful start-up for Bailiff Kennels in 2006?
We would like to win at least 25-30 opens this year. That'd be a good benchmark, and maybe a Group 1 race would be nice sometime in the year. Obviously, we'd be looking for Bailiff Diesel to do that for us, but that'd be a good year for me on the open race scene. Being as we've only been set up again here 6 months, it's basically been like starting all over again.
Is there a Derby winner amongst these 7 for trainer Brian Clemenson? Find out after the break. Welcome back to the Dogs. In a minute, more on the Greyhound Derby, but first a look back at the Coral Regency at Hove over 695 metres. Unfortunately, Greenacre Lynn was withdrawn, which meant CALOONA Striker was the 4-7 favourite. Up go the lids and away they go, and CALOONA Striker's got a fantastic start, leads up early here, 2 lengths clear from 3, Call Girl in second. Westmead Aoife, the second favourite, is right at the back of the pack at the moment. They go past the stands and there's plenty of cheering for CALOONA Striker, leading here by 2 lengths over Call Girl in second. A further 3 lengths back to third, that's Black Magic Guy Arth. These comes Westmead Aoife and Jordan's Glory as they head down the far side. Final time, surely no catching. CALOONA Striker remains 2 lengths up on Call Girl in second. After these trying to improve is Westmead Aoife and got into third, but a hell of a lot to do from there as they come around the final bend. It's CALOONA Striker. He's made all. CALOONA Striker on home soil wins the Regency, beating Call Girl and Westmead Aoife. And the winning time there from CALOONA Striker was 40.82, beating Call Girl by 3.5 lengths. A really good and experienced greyhound. And now co-leader of the top dog competition with 13 points, along with Greenacre Lynn and Greenlock Power. And a point behind comes Call Girl. The Stayers under the microscope again for the next event on the top dog, the William Hill Prestige.
Into the Sussex countryside now for more Derby clues and the kennels of Hove trainer Brian Clemenson. His magnificent 7 entries for the Derby are Blake's Wonder, Shelbourne Pooper, Brookville Genius, Coventry Bees, Bubbly Classic, Son of Phoebe and Champagne Moment. Brian talked us through his runners.
Yeah, we'll start with Coventry Bees, potentially the fastest 4 bend dog I've ever trained. 26.45 Oxford, sub 28 seconds round Monmore. Just off his track record at Waterford in his only race there. Fantastic prospect, very good trial yesterday, 28.83. He's only had 5 races, so 6 rounds of a derby. You'd have to win a derby with just 11 races, which is going to take some doing. But he's great potential whether he wins the derby this year or the Irish Derby, certainly later on in the year. But certainly a dog to keep an eye on, certainly worth a good wager.
The only time he's been in front of the television cameras is at Wimbledon when he was well and truly beaten by Bubbly Tojo.
Yeah, the training point, I was quite pleased with it. Although he got well beat, I'd like to see him come from behind. Although he got beat and well beat, he actually ran through and got 3rd, and then he was really up there nicely at the pickup. So I was quite pleased with it. I wasn't necessarily always looking just to win races. You're looking for knowledge, information, and I got a lot of information from that race. So for me personally, I was quite pleased.
Of course, he came out of that race and then won the first round of the Puppy Derby at Monmore quite impressively.
Yeah, he did, and it shows he can adapt to different tracks, whether it's Monmore, Oxford, Waterford, or wherever he runs, he seems to run well. Unfortunately got a bad injury in the semi-final, one of the worst cuts I've ever seen. So he hasn't actually raced before the Trainers' Championship. I think it was March the 9th. It was the last time he raced. Obviously we're in April now, coming up to May. So he's matured really, really well now. And certainly he's a dog that does make you look pleased to go into the kennels in the morning, and to have something like him in the kennel really sort of perks you up.
So Brian, if Coventry Bees is probably your number 1 going into Derby, take us through the rest of the team. Who would be sort of next best in?
I certainly like Champagne Moment. I think he's only had 15 races in his career. I think he's won about half of them. Good experience at Wimbledon. Really has got terrific back straight pace and comes home very strong. Can take a knock if he has to. If he lacks something, it's probably a yard of pace into the corner. Obviously being on the outside, you're always worried he could get the concertina effect. But there's no reason why he just can't keep qualifying, he'd nick around here and 2. Already run behind Charlie Lister's good dog, the Zigzag dog. And I think Charlie might have been a bit surprised that he was that close, and he said, well, his dog wasn't quite fit, which is probably maybe true. But he undervalued how good this dog Champagne Moment is. Again, a great bet there at sort of 40 to 1, certainly to make the final, because he's decent, he really is.
Now moving on from Champagne Moment to a dog that's owned by the Champagne Club, Bubbly Classic.
Yeah, lovely dog. The syndicate have gone very well, I've met them. Really pleased with them. He's gone very well at Wimbledon, 27.15 trials. Unfortunately his last race at Oxford he damaged his tail, which we had to remove a little bit of that. Makes ready for his Oxford run, which is very poor. Previous to that, I think a lot of people have been quite excited about him. He's quite decent, he's got the early pace, he's a bit robust into the corners. So provided we can get this tail right and everything gone that direction. Again, another certainly quarter-finalist. When we bought him, we said, right, this dog is a quarter-finalist in the English Derby. That's where we started up. So that's where he should make if we can get everything right. And then again, from the quarter-finalists, you're only a minute away from being in the Derby final.
Had a good start to the year, Brian, and perhaps your best dog over 4 bends, as far as competitions goes anyway, is Son of Phoebe.
He's running terrific at the moment. Got a lot of courage. A bit worried about a derby because maybe he hasn't got that yard of pace into the corner. But what he has got, he will stay to the rail, so where many times you see dogs get knocked off at the first corner, he will always try and sneak round it. He's yet to prove to me that he's running Wimbledon as well as Perry Bar or Hove. You've got to take that on trust, really. I personally would like to see it, but he's a very good dog.
Blake's Wonder is a litter brother of Son of Phoebe. A 29.86 Hove winner, it clashes with Coventry Bees in Heat 14. Shelbourne Pooper, who few will beat when she's on the bunny, goes head-to-head with kennel mate Son of Phoebe in Heat 5. Brookville Genius is an early pace bitch who Brian feels deserves a chance. She goes in Heat 10. But it's Coventry Bees who has the Clemo camp buzzing. Asked if this is the dog who'll win him the derby, Brian is typically philosophical.
At the end of the day, it's a living that you choose to do. It's not all and end all of life. You know, if you win the derby, then it's great. If it doesn't happen for you, then it doesn't. You know, people may view that and say, "Oh, he's not committed. He doesn't really want it." I win it, but I'm well aware in this world that we live in, it's a lot worse things happening than not winning a derby. So I'm pretty level-headed these days, and it'd be special if one of mine this year were to win it.
Wimbledon last Tuesday, and more Derby clues. Ballymac Pires in 5 took a hefty knock coming out of the boxes, the favourite for this race, and was also a little bit slowly away, keeping middle to wide. Ronnie's Champion in 1, the eventual winner, just moved off at the first bend, but showed better middle pace to Ballymac Pires going into the third turn, picking up the pace-setting Maximum Respect in the reserve Derbystown Josie in 3 and 4. Ronnie's Champion taking up the lead. Ballymac Pires, a few traffic problems and keeping on okay, has since come out and won at Sittingbourne, by the way. Ronnie's Champion recording 29.11. Mark Wallace on the mark again here with January Tiger in 6. Keep your eyes also on 5, Ballymac Rooster, blazing the trail in the early part of the race. That's his style of running. The third here is Handsome Hog. Tom's View also making an appearance here. Charlie Lister, of course, looks after Tom's View now. Didn't break that well, but kept on okay inside the closing stages. We're watching the closing part of the race now, and Ballymac Rooster about to be picked up by January Tiger. A real good competition dog and could go a long way again in 2006. And the winning time, 28.93.
11 Derby challengers from the Wallace Kennel. Who's the best of them?
The one who did it last year as well, I think, is January Tiger. He loves it round here, you know, and he's so consistent, and he traps and he stays and he does everything what you wanted him to do, and I think he's our best chance. But there's some dark horses, you know, like what I say, Fair Khan, you know, and Kurtzet B, who did a very good run, Daisyfield Shawnee, you know, they're all good dogs, you know. But I think January Tiger is a very consistent dog, and that's what you need in a derby, consistency.
Talking of consistency, Ballymac Charlie lining up here in trap 3. To make it 9 out of 9, pings out of the boxes, swerved a little bit left coming out in such a hurry. The favourite for the race was Daisyfield Shawnee in trap 5, took a hefty bump at the first bend. Ballymac Charlie's being chased here by Regrove Row in trap 4. The eventual third is well tutored in 1. That kept on inside the closing stages, but there's a good feel about Ballymac Charlie. He seems to hit the lids all the time. And he went on to record a winning time of 29.08. I just wonder, is the pressure beginning to build?
Well, I suppose it's a bit of pressure on the dog and us, but he don't run really well tonight.
He's got cracking early pace, and he just seems to pull out a little bit more in front.
He gives 200% in every race he runs in. He did that tonight.
Well, the Derby kicks off this Thursday at Wimbledon. Here are the sponsors' prices, and fear me, the Scottish Derby winner is 5-1. Last year's Derby winner, Westmead Hawk, who had to play second fiddle behind Fear Me at Shawfield, is 6-1. 8-1 about Zigzag Dutchy. Double figures the rest. Well, the Derby takes centre stage for open race fans on Thursday, Friday and Saturday, but just to remind you that the William Hill Prestige gets underway at Hall Green on Friday. Also, Romford have the final of the Jerry Allen Quicksilver Trophy. Saturday sees the start of a puppy competition at Brough Park. Sunday has open finals at Coventry and Sittingbourne, whilst on Monday there are opens at Crayford, Henlow and Nottingham. For all the latest results, they can be found on our website, thedogs.co.uk. Next week on The Dogs, the highlights of round 1 of the William Hill Greyhound Derby. Make sure you don't miss it.
The Dogs, in association with the British Greyhound Racing Board.